Here's poetic justice. These officials with their po-faced rules on celebrating, interfering like beak-nosed old bags from temperance societies in the Old West. Well, this one comes too close. It's football, for God's sake, not fencing. And, way, over he goes. So perish all tyrants. This was lying in the archive without explanation.
The referee has fallen over and is in some discomfort.
Which is always worth a laugh, but next he flips out completely and nuzzles Billy Bremner's codpiece. Then came a public cry for help.
Could we have a registered FA referee or linesman report to the office immediately?
And there is an appeal for any registered FA referee or linesman to report to the office. And a gentleman is taking his coat off in the tunnel below us.
Yep, from out of the crowd stepped forward some old boy with a kit and everything. Oh, I'd love to do that. I would give some very bent decisions. Speaking of which, how many times have you seen a penalty cancelled because the keeper wasn't ready?
(2-1). David Harvey saying he wasn't ready. David Harvey is saying to the referee he wasn't ready for that. He was picking bits and pieces. Now Harvey doesn't look quite ready, but Clements certainly is. 2-1. Now Mr. Burns going across to have a word with the linesman, who may well take Harvey's side.
And that's just what he does.
Yes, Harvey has made his point. David Harvey was picking bits out of the goal mouth when Dave Clements took that, and the linesman interceded on his behalf.
So we'll all remember that one. Still, in those days, at least it seemed the crowd were allowed to have a laugh.
And the Park Lane end just a little reluctant now to release the ball. So the police have got to go in there and look for it too. They thought they got a ball for the Park tomorrow morning, but they haven't, and Spurs have got a goal kick.
Or could you?
Spectators have come on the field towards the referee, a couple of girls in fact, but they've come on to mob Harry Redknapp. Well, nothing too sinister about that, and perhaps Harry enjoyed it. Did they get away or didn't they get away? A policeman's gone in too. We're forgetting the football, but nothing's happening at the moment.
Leave him alone.
And I think the police are going to win, but it's going to be quite a battle. The crowd are booing, and Bolton has taken the goal kick.
These football hooligans, eh? Only one language they understand, right?
Well, I think the policemen are winning, yes. So the cost of giving Harry Redknapp a hug...
Go on, girl. Stick them both in defence, I say. Here's an instance when all those long hours on the training pitch pay dividends. A dummy run from the 10, allowing the referee to ghost in, and it's the simplest of tap-ins for him. Watch again. The 10 takes the attention away, and with the keeper waiting for the chip, the ref gives a call, and he tucks it away with the minimum of fuss. Yes, he's quite right to celebrate. Here's one right out of the playground. At least he laughs about it. I'm beginning to think Ryan Giggs thinks he's too talented to allow for such basic dumbness. Yes, of course. That was Ince's fault, wasn't it, for moving about so much, Ryan? Now, obviously, the keeper should have saved this. But when you watch the replay, you'll notice that the ball is moving like a bullet. And once it's past his hands, there's only one bit of his body he could have stopped it with. And to be fair, nobody loves a club that much. How about this winner from Laughing Neville Southall? Let's be honest here. Sometimes an error is so basic as to be lame-brained. And men, being men, have to charge around pretending to be hurt and outraged. But as women will tell you, that's what men do when they're embarrassed. Neville, it's a goal, and it was your fault. One very overused phrase is, "That was the miss of the season." But this, my friends, is the real thing. You'll recognise that was Ronnie, not Jurgen Klinsmann Rosenthal, responsible. But watch Sean Teal, who, as we've seen, is no slouch in front of that goal, get credit here for never giving up. But really, not only miss of the season, but literally an open goal. There are two phrases that'll get you chased out of Stamford Bridge. One is, with the price of property round here, isn't this place a waste of space? And two, you know, I kind of miss Dave Besant. The two upcoming goals are from the notorious match in which Dave set out his stall in the transfer market. This second goof might be termed hats off to Gary Sprake, and it's a dreadful glimpse into a private hell. The crowd begin to show their appreciation, and in fact, the following day both shots were reconstructed under scientific conditions. And yes, 9 out of 10 people in the crowd's mums actually did save them. By the way, how's George doing? Hey, good man. It's back to the own goals again now, and I think some of the best we ever brought you. For what it's worth, the previous section of own goals were out of the Premier League. The ones we're about to see are from the Football League. But it doesn't matter. It's purely cosmetic. Own goals are the international language of football, the Esperanto, if you will. Own goals are the great leveller. Nottingham Forest versus Grimsby. Conditions cool, breeze light, pitch perfect, outlook optimistic, goalkeeper a lunatic. It takes him a few seconds here to figure on a scapegoat, but then he lets the world in on the real culprit. It's that bloody loose shin pad. Must do something about that before next week, or it'll make a fool out of me. Actually, where is that goal in case I see the ball again? Ah, there it is, got it. If ever there was a case of no danger, then this was it. Right up until our man picks the ideal time to inject a little Stephen King into the proceedings. Perhaps the first rule of goalkeeping is always get your body fully behind the ball. However, if you're Fulham's Jim Stannard and want to bring an element of fantasy and fun, then try to grab that sucker while sideways. Yes! There's a nice reaction here, though, calm acceptance and reassurance. Don't worry about it, fellas. Here's another wild example of taking your eye off the ball, the pitch, the planet Earth. Reminds me of at school, where after picking sides, you got lumbered with the gangly school loser. So you stick him in goal figuring he must be better than nothing, but... Almost sounds like a compliment. Mate, no one's better than you. Now here's a bullet header from a bullet head.
Cracking it on the end of this one. Oh, has to be an own goal off Young.
I don't know, I think the goalkeeper might have done better with that.
From Pecker's cross. He can smile, it's 4-1.
He had plenty of time to see it, and Eric Young put just enough pace on it. Plus, I hear goalkeepers like him at that height.
As Robinson jumps forward. Now, we've seen him hit good shots this season. Here's a chance for Beecham, and it's gone in! Marshall has flicked the ball, and he's flicked it into his own net.
Watch the referee dash in to break up the world's smallest celebration, as well as the clumsiest.
Joey Beecham obviously will get the credit for that, but it wasn't the fiercest shot I've seen all season.
No, that was Eric Young's header. You'll notice that the ball is not simply helped into the net, it is catapulted there whilst minding its own business. See the meagre handful of confetti that greets his misery. Actually, that's his contract. Now this is where your TV becomes a stark mirror to life. It's a dreadful hash of an own goal, but a prime example of fan reaction. A man in green puts both hands to his head. A man with a carrier bag goes to leave, but like us all, isn't sure how to do it. In the slow motion, you might like to count 8 V signs, 12 silent screams, 5 heads sinking to knees, a dozen bursting into tears, and a little boy who says, "Does that still count as a goal, Dad?" Ah, my Millwall. I remember this. Peterborough's horrible green kit on a Tuesday night. We were at the top, they were at the bottom. On the night, we were really awful, and they were full of fire, fight and invention. Brilliant, ran us ragged, had the home fans applauding. 2 minutes from time, that was the only goal. Hey, we went on to the playoffs and they were relegated. How's that? An entire season in a nutshell. Mind you, I think that must have been the best Peterborough played all season. In the blue here, they were usually well up to this standard. And yet, ladies and gentlemen, they were relegated. The key to this peculiar shape-shifting must be that Peterborough's ground is built on an old Indian burial site. And when the spirits are displeased, the posh, they play like heap big crap. Believe me, them spirits must have had the permanent hump for about 80 years. Goal! That was a shame, really, because that was such a fluid movement up till then. Fluid movement. Yeah, there is another word for it, but I've got too much respect for you. Now watch for the signal. Everybody out, they're going to score it for us. Look, that ought to be impossible, didn't it? They've set their stall out and hung on it a big sign. Help yourself. Everything's free today. The flying defender actually knees himself in the nose. And he shuts his knees but leaves his feet a yard apart. You think things can't get worse? Well, we don't just throw these tapes together, you know. This is worse. It's Fulham's Jim Stannard again saying, "You can't let that stand, there are cameras here." On the replay, just as the ball sails over him, listen for somebody laughing out of control. The keeper can't believe it. Everyone here saw that happen. And now that they know, he's going to have to kill them. Take a look at this. I'm not sure who to blame for this one. I'm tempted to blame Norwich's John Polston from Volume 1 of Own Goals and Gaffs, but that might be stretching it. As we watch it back, we can see two players with but a single thought. That is, how can I quit the game and earn some real money mini-cabbing? You'll have noticed that I do try to find something amusing to say about each of our clips, but some are so incredible, words turn to ashes in your mouth. Now, how unlikely was that series of events? How much does it make you love this insane, glorious game of ours? Rewrite the rules, hype up the PR, take it to the States. This is association football to me, every bit as beautiful as the work of Eric Cantona. Here's the same match, and I'm on the edge of me seat here, figuring out what could possibly happen next. Stripes are on the attack this time. Stripes? Ah, of course, the old reckless didn't look mad 30-yard back pass to certain death. I do love the resigned way his shoulders sink immediately he releases it. You know, there's only one way to deal with defenders like this. On the way home, pretend to hear a noise from the back of the coach, send him out to investigate and drive off. It's the only language they understand. Now, this may be the weirdest own goal on the tape. After a routine build-up, it spins into the path of Crew's number 11, whose crackpot attempt at a clearance sends the ball fizzing into the 6-yard box, where it changes direction completely and bounces lamely into the net. How dare you claim credit for that goal, sir? If you watch, it's a 25-yarder that